Shalom, this video is about the wonderful Jewish mystical custom relating to Sukkot called Ushpizim, which is the Aramaic word for guests. First of all, there's a really great movie to see called Ushpizim. It takes place in an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood in Israel, and it's about a guy who used to be a criminal who becomes a religious Jew, and his criminal buddies from the background come visit him on Sukkot, and there's a story about finding a sukkah and buying a beautiful etrog. It's just a great sukkah movie. In any case, Ushpizim. Well, it's really a Jewish mystical custom. The Zohar, the great book of Jewish mysticism, says that the spiritual energy of Sukkot is so concentrated that 7 very important great Jews leave Gan Eden, the heavenly abode, to come and dwell on earth during Sukkot. And we invite them in, some say symbolically, some say actually, to our sukkah. They all come, but one leads them each night. The first night is Abraham, the second night is Isaac, the third night is Jacob, the fourth night is Joseph. And then Isaac Luria arranged the order so that he put Moses and Aaron and then King David. And so we have the great shepherds, the holy shepherds of Israel, becoming guests at this time. Now, what is the mystical significance of it? Well, there is one custom, idea, that each one of these inaugurates 1,000 days of the Messianic era. 1,000 years are like a day, 1,000 years of the Messianic era. But really, what we talk about more about these 7 are related to their actual virtues. And so to understand this, you need to go back into the traditions about each one of them. Abraham, known for hospitality, for example, for his vision, for his leadership, for passing the tests, for his faith and devotion. And when you invite Abraham in each night, the first night, you would talk about those qualities. Now, in egalitarian mode, people would invite in also Sarah and talk about her great qualities. And then Isaac, when you invite him in, it would be a good time to talk about the tradition relating to Isaac. He was willingly going to bind himself for the Akedah, that he was the transition point in history. Jacob and the very complex story of his life, but ultimately his valiant leadership as father in the 12 tribes. Then Joseph and the great stories about him, and especially his being able to conquer his evil inclination. Moses and his great leadership, his law-giving, his strength, his courage. Aaron's peace-loving nature. Joseph, of course, was the 4th one, as I mentioned. And then finally King David and his leadership of Israel, his playing the harps. In fact, the tradition has specific qualities they identify with each one of the Ushpizim. Abraham, love and kindness. Isaac, restraint and personal strength. Jacob, beauty and truth. Moses, eternality and dominance through Torah. Aaron, receptivity to divine splendor and, of course, peacemaking. Joseph, holiness and the spiritual foundation. And finally, King David, representing the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. And so those are a lot of the great customs of inviting Ushpizim. There's actually a ceremony in Aramaic words. And among some Sephardim, they actually place a beautiful chair to welcome the mysterious, mystical guests. One sort of modern custom that you can develop from this is after you invite the traditional guests in your sukkah, ask your guests themselves who would they invite in and why, and what conversation would they have with them if they invited them into their sukkah. Ushpizim.